Hello once again to another episode of Simpsons Reference, Hit and Run Part 2. We had moved on to Bart's chapter last time, and thus, logically, we are continuing it this time. Alright, so what's happening here? Well, Principal Skinner is on the hunt for any kids who skipped school, and his nose is finally attuned to Bart's terror sweat. So head on over to the honor roller to start this first mission. Now, just wait a minute. In the Soapbox Derby episode, it's true that Bart took over driving duties from one Martin Prince, the Queen of Summertime.
Oh, King!
But that doesn't mean he owns said Derby racer. Might have been a bit more appropriate for Bart's first car to be Little Lightning that the Simpsons built, but what do I know? And during the course of this episode, you'll see that what do I know is actually very little. Regardless, within seconds of getting behind the wheel, Mr. Armin Tamzarian comes bursting forth from beyond the veil and immediately starts making horrible threats to a small child.
I'll get you, Bart, just like I got Charlie and Nam.
Also, if you look to your everywhere, you'll see that we're now in a completely different section of Springfield. This will now be the time I admit that I had completely forgotten that Hit and Run was broken up this way. Every member of the family each get their own distinct district in which they can commit vehicular manslaughter in, with a bit of overlap, which is a nice way to keep things fresh. So for Bart, it's kind of the center of town, away from all the suburbs, so you have locations like Moe's Tavern, the DMV, and the racetrack. Anyway, it's relatively easy to outrace the out-of-touch principal, so once you do, head into the parking lot of the Try and Save to have a frank, no-nonsense discussion with Jimbo. James.
Too late, losers! I got the last game! 4-finger discount! Some crazy lady destroyed all the rest.
When will they learn? Video games don't kill people, they just kill their minds.
Bart needs his Bone Storm, so we're gonna have to track down another prominent star in the scene of bullying, Kearney, to see if he knows of any other remaining copies that the crazy lady didn't destroy. Nearby, you'll see the aforementioned DMV, and while I know that might be against your better judgment, let's head on inside there anyway. It's here where we can check out Bart's available costumes. Okay, so we have ninja, football uniform, and I think that's the business suit he wore when he owned the big empty factory downtown.
Disgusting. While it's true that Bart did wear a suit when he briefly owned an empty factory in Homer's Enemy, production code 4F19, you're actually thinking of his traditional Sunday church clothes that he wore when Frank Grimes visited the family. Ha-ha, you rube.
Quite embarrassing. The correct reference comes from when Bart needed to be taller to get the role of Fallout Boy, no relation, in Radioactive Man, production code 2F17.
What the hell is that?
Anyway, head back to Kearney, where Bart receives a startling revelation. Let's watch.
How am I gonna get that new game?
Who cares? Video games are so late 90s. Illegal fireworks are all the rave now. Better make it snappy though if you want to be part of this trend.
And just like that, Bart is no longer best friends with video games, and his lust for the storm of bones has been replaced with a sudden infatuation with pyrotechnics. My, how fickle are today's modern 30-year-old depictions of 90s era childhood?
Marge, I'm confused.
Moving on, for some reason, Moe is the first person Bart thinks of to be his new dealer in the spontaneous firework addiction, so we're gonna have to head on over to his tavern. Whilst doing so, you'll notice a lot of this section of Springton is under construction and plagued by many potholes, possibly from carrying too much weight.
Look at that pavement fly!
Alright, so here we are at the dank drink hole owned by Moe Sislak. Inside, we'll find Hans, Barney, Bumblebee Man, Kearney in an orange shirt, and finally...
Kid Moe. Sorry, Bart. I can't serve booze to a minor. It ain't right.
I'm here to buy fireworks.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so our next stop is Springfield Town Hall, which makes sense because hopefully that's where the fireworks will cause the most collateral damage. Oh, but never mind all that crap because here is Snake. The importance of this character is mega important. He is the alpha and the omega, the fulcrum point of all of Springfield. Without a criminal friend here, some, i.e. all of the events in Hit and Run would never occur.
1 dozen of your best Tijuana toilet crackers, my good man.
Here you go, kid dude. Now don't blow your hand off. Or do. What do I care?
Gotcha. Okay, so we need more fireworks, so talk to Ralph to gain access to Chief Wiggum's stash. Hopefully we have a high enough charisma stat to charm Ralph and not anger Wiggum. You know, fingers crossed this'll work.
Ralph, word in the hood is that you got access to your old man's fireworks stash.
Fireworks make my ears yell.
Here's some gumdrops. Now make with the works.
My daddy's going to put you in jail. Bye!
Ah, that didn't work! Alright, Jesus, so sometimes, but not all the time, these get away from blank missions do not go according to plan. The distance bar has to drain completely and then stay drained for like an extra 2 seconds. And then, and only then, will you finally be rid of them.
And that's the end of that chapter.
The problem is, all the traffic, pedestrians, narrow, tightly packed streets, and the sheer randomness of the AI makes these missions way more annoying than they need to be. Sometimes a car will swerve right in front of you at the last second, blocking your progress and letting your stalker close the distance in 2 seconds flat. Usually 2 to 3 mistakes is enough to always cause you to fail, because you keep having to redrain that distance bar, and the pursuing vehicles are always fast as shit. Why? Did they illegally mod their cars?
Hey, what are all these holes?
These are speed holes to make the car go faster.
Oh yeah, speed holes.
Once you do manage to shake Wiggum off, head on over to the Googleplex to converse with a character that is literally always relevant, Comic Book Guy. Within seconds, he reminds you that he's one of those Simpsons characters that is absolutely 100% future-proof.
Hey, Jabba the Fat, do you know where I can get a copy of Bone Storm 2?
Yes, I have no time to converse with you. I must be the first to register my disgust on the internet regarding the new McBain film. The action was dismal, and the nudity was frustratingly fleeting. I barely get going.
Quick, to the Fatmobile!
Yes, I suppose, but must we call it that?
Now, this mission is just weird. CBG wants to get to a coffee joint to complain about a movie on the internet, and you decide to tag along with him. But you also have to race some other hitherto unseen comic book nerd to get there first. Now I gotta say, this nerd dork ain't playing. I mean, look at all the disaster that unfolds right here. I overtake him by cutting through this lawn and... Jesus, Comic Book Guy really wants to complain about Birds of Prey. I mean McBain. These racing sections where you have to get to location A are some of the most inconsistent in the game. Sometimes the AI can get hung up on shit or take a wrong turn, and sometimes they'll be pulling 500-mile-per-hour burnouts on a dime. It certainly keeps you on your toes, I can tell you that for free. When you do beat this secondary nerd, you have to then talk to the primary nerd one more time.
I'm happy to report that your quest for Bone Storm 2 is quite futile. Professor Frink posted a message on my news group.
Oh, ma'am, can I help you? Ma'am!
alt.furryanimals.fanfiction.net that he has bought up all the remaining video games.
Oh.
I'll thank you not to moan in my mid-sized vehicle.
Wait. Comic Book Guy asked me to not moan in his mid-sized vehicle, but we're clearly standing outside. What is this? Some type of magical...
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that one.
Now, back over here, in and around Professor Frink's general vicinity, you can pick up the pregnancy test from... episode...
Oh, come on! I Love Lisa, episode 74, production code 9F13.
Production code 9F13! Yeah, that episode, I got it. Yeah, I knew that. Anyway, talk to Frink to get the next mission, and this mad scientist will tell you that to make his latest invention/monster, he needs both modern satellite technology and 80-year-old radio technology. That's bullshit, but I believe it.
I gotta play Bone Storm 2. Give me one!
No can do, my pointy-headed friend. I need the power of video game violence to run my latest invention/monster. If you find me a World War II communication radio and a satellite, then my creation will live and we can play with it and enjoy the frolicking.
Oh, cool. Real violence is way better than TV violence. It's like a level boss come to life. Now, who would have a World War II radio? That guy that sells all those grenades to Nelson might. I better check.
Our first step is to follow the Pizzioli van, which leads us to Herman's gun store, and...
Hey, Springfield's lamest. What's the deal?
Didn't you hear? Herman's been robbed. Hey, you don't know who did it, do you? Because if you did, boy, that would be great.
Oh, no. Now where am I going to get a radio?
These fresh skid marks leading away from the scene of the crime could be a clue. But who's to say, really?
Alright, so let's follow Snake, literally the only criminal to ever exist. I just hope we can find him in time so that we... Oh, there he is.
Hey, Snake, what's up?
Do I know you, little dude?
I need that radio you borrowed.
No way, little dude. This radio is going to help me score beaucoup de chicks.
Last time I checked, chicks liked fast cars, not vintage electronics. Why don't we race for the radio?
Oh, I totally agree to your proposal.
Next we have... Wait. Hold up! We gotta talk about something here. When Bart is in the honor roller, he's driving it. That's his vehicle, I get that. And it's a one-seater. When Bart steals a random car that's not his, well, he doesn't even steal it. He just takes the passenger seat and then forces that driver to take him places. But you're controlling Bart, but he's not behind the wheel? Wait, Homer doesn't throw people out of their cars either, but him and Bart will make comments as if they are the ones driving. It's almost as if this game thinks there is a GTA style gimme your car animation, when in fact there is not. This can't be an ESRB issue. I mean, not 30 seconds goes by without you running over a child in this game, so...
I'm in danger!
I would need like an ex-Radical employee to explain to me why this is, so why don't we do that right now? There was a couple of reasons. We wanted to have more than one character in the car, when possible, to facilitate funny dialogue. Also, Lisa and Marge were always planned to be playable, so it would have been against their personalities for them to pull drivers out of their cars. We also didn't want to slow the pace down at all, so an animation to run over to the driver's side and pull them out would have slowed the action down a bit too much. And that's about it. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks, man. This episode is getting so weird and like bonkers, I say as I read off the script I've had planned for weeks. Anyway, beat the everlasting snot out of Snake, grab the World War II radio, and continue to hold the adult in the car hostage so they can drive you over to the Krusty Burger. And...
Cletus the slack-jawed yokel.
Hey there, Mr. Slack-jawed yokel.
That be I.
Can I borrow your satellite dish?
Sure, if you help me scoop up my flat meat, sophisticated city youngster. Those darn revenuers don't like me selling roadkill.
Okay, so now we're helping the slack-jawed yokel collect 14 dead skunks that have suddenly manifested on the city streets. Despite Cletus's home and businesses being on the previous map we cleared in Homer's chapter. Never mind, wait, why are we even collecting these?
Krusty Burgers are made of roadkill? That explains the tire tracks.
Take this satellite dish as a reward. She gets 14 channels, including the Outhouse channel. Man, I love watching that.
Thanks, inbred hillbilly.
Torrent nothing.
Okay, well, at least that's better than where Springfield Elementary gets their milk. Once Cletus hands us the satellite, head back to Professor Frink and...
You expect me to complete a Mark 10 Truckosaurus without a blender? Why don't I just make a Plasmoclave without a tennis racket for playing out loud? Now fetch me a blender with the puree and the frappe and the liquefy.
Now where am I gonna get a blender? Dr. Nick! He loves blended girl drinks during surgery.
Alright, there we go. So we need to get a blender to make the mighty Gundam known as Truckosaurus. Kinda feel Truckosaurus is just shoehorned in here, and I think that's mostly because it is. You're telling me Frink, Professor Frink, is the inventor of this monster truck special attraction that first appeared in like season 2, in which one Leo G. Clark clearly identifies himself as the inventor, while Frink, during his many appearances on the show, never once mentioned, screw it. Hi, Dr. Nick.
Hi, everybody.
You seem like a heavy drinker. Do you have a blender?
Not now, okay? My monkeys have escaped. Can you catch them for me? I'll be so grateful.
Why won't they come back to you?
Because I have tortured them horribly, silly.
There's no way I'll be able to fit all those monkeys in my car. I better get a big truck or something.
Okay, fine. Screaming Monkey Research Center has been a long-standing Springfield institution, so this doesn't feel completely random, just mostly. Of course, a big truck or something can only mean...
Call Mr. Plow. That's my name. That name again is Mr. Plow.
So let's find Homer, who is standing still in the hospital parking lot. Dad, is everything okay? Do you have bonitis? That's the wrong show, goddamn!
I need your truck, Homer.
Why should I give you that?
Because I love you.
Pay up, sucker.
You're charging your own son?
Yeah, I guess I am.
Okay, so we are now driving the Plow, Mr. Plow, and while up to this point we've mainly used the honor roller, I think this is the first time Bart has driven a full-on adult vehicle. He can't even see over the dash. Now, this is just impossible. I can't with this game anymore. Has there ever been any instance where Bart drove...
I've been driving all night, man.
Hurry up and finish eating.
I withdraw my question. Okay, we gotta get going here because those screaming monkeys are not gonna collect themselves. So collect them yourself and just head right on back to Dr. Nick for, what are we getting, a blender? Or you were just at the try and save.
Welcome home, Daddy's little angels. Now, to put electrodes in your brains.
The stadium it is. Now it's just the arduous task of driving all the way across town. Here we are.
Here's your last doodad. So can I see the Truckosaurus thing?
Yes. Is a word I would love to be able to say. Unfortunately, there are too many people using cell phones, and the interference would then cause the monster to malfunction and kill many people. And my insurance is already sky high with the premiums and the schmemiums.
Phew, so, now we need to destroy not the cell phones. No. The game clearly lets you know what it wants you to do, which is destroy cell phones? No! Only cars! So yes, because you have very little interactivity with most characters, you must destroy their cars instead of what makes sense. I'm sure the phones will tragically die in the explosion, just not the people, I hope. Also, the other thing about this mission, fuck this mission! It's actually incredibly hard to damage these cars unless you somehow manage to get ahead of their predetermined routes and then smash into them head on. They have these big ass health bars for some reason, and you just have to hope they'll randomly run into a wall or an obstacle so you can finally do some major damage. I'm cutting around this footage, obviously, but this took forever, and I did not like it. But it's done now, so we can just move on. Here's Frank. Here he is. Just talk to Frank.
Well done, my little sociopath.
I like to smash.
Now there is no chance my Truckosaurus will go on a killing rampage with the screaming and the sadness and the hosing of blood off the robot.
Okay, so after all that, we're gonna have a boss battle with Truckosaurus. Let's do this!
Wow, Truckosaurus is some kind of truck/dinosaur. I never would have guessed. Uh-oh.
Or not?
Yes! Everybody do the Bartman!
Bartman? What? Wait, did Bart just die? Next time on Simpsons Reference, Simpsons Hit and Run featuring The Simpsons. Ooh, it's now that time where the game forces you to use the Lisa Simpson of Hit and Run, Lisa Simpson.